Okay. So, Darkovika here. I wanted to go back to the old days when all I used to record was vlogs and all that stuff before I got into recording video games. Mostly because my laptop can't record any of my video games except for Hero Siege, and yeah, I can't even really record the point and clicks, which is kind of sad, but still. This is a sort of reminiscing review video about a game that I used to absolutely love, at least for the concept, for the longest time. And it was a game that was called Fusion Fall, and a lot of you probably know about this game, or at least remember the commercials from like 2009? It was either 2008 or 2009. Cartoon Network released a massively multiplayer online role-playing game called Fusion Fall. And what Fusion Fall was a collection of both past and present Cartoon Network characters in a massive MMO format. And you played a character that you could create on your own and then go through this Cartoon Network universe. And the concept behind Fusion Fall was that all of the Cartoon Network characters coexisted in this large world, which is actually something that they've sort of hinted at with a lot of their Flash games over the years. Like back when I was a little girl, one of my favorite games of theirs was another similar game where all of the Cartoon Network characters that existed in the 90s, because obviously it can be anything from the future, existed on a resort, and you had to go around and like do things for them. It was one of my favorite games of all time, and when I was a little girl. And sadly it doesn't run anymore on the Cartoon Network website. They still have it in a lot of older games that I used to play, but they don't have, that one doesn't work anymore, which makes me really sad. It's kind of a weird thing that they hint at, that all of their Cartoon Network characters exist in this separate world, this plane, and they hint at it a lot with a lot of their games. Fusion Fall was the idea that in this world where all the Cartoon Network characters lived along with normal people, i.e. us, these alien creatures were attacking, and of course Ben 10 was in this universe, so it was kind of correlating with that. And these alien monsters were fusions, and they were basically green goo that kind of fell down from planet Fuse to attack our planet. And whatever these fusions touched, they fused with it, which was why the term fusion was spawned. Was coined. And they're known as fusion spawns. And Fusion Fall is a term that was connected to the fact that whenever these fusions would fall from planet Fuse, it was called a fusion fall because the fusions were falling. Get it? Yeah. Now, the crazy part about Fusion Fall was that in the very early years, when it wasn't just Cartoon Network working on the game, it ran very smoothly, or rather smoothly, I guess I should say, on my super crappy, really old computer before I even updated my graphics card for gaming, before I even understood that I should update a graphics card for gaming, or that you could make your computer better. It ran fine on my super not gamer computer desktop, so it was a very fun game, not just because of the fact that it was all those Cartoon Network characters, but all the characters from the 90s and beyond had grown up as if they had grown up with us. So Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory was all grown up, so was Dee Dee, so was, well, Ben is Ben. He grew up in his own TV series, so Ben was just older Ben. Who else did they have? They had the Eds from Ed, Edd and Eddy, all three of which were grown up. They had the Powerpuff Girls were all grown up. Who else? I'm totally blanking on who else was in it. They had, oh my god, what was her name? Her show aired around the same time as like American Dragon Jake Long. He wasn't in it, but this chick, she was like a psychic, and she also did like karate, and she ran around and helping people. I totally can't remember her name. They had a lot of shows, like even some shows that didn't even really, they weren't popular, they weren't hits, so they had those ones. And again, anything from the 90s, they had it, and they were all grown up. And as the game progressed and Cartoon Network took over, more of the modern characters came into play. Because, to be honest, I think Cartoon Network was really aiming for 90s kids when they made that MMO. Because there were a couple of modern Cartoon Network characters in there, but not a lot. In its last year or so, Fusion Fall was absolutely overrun with modern day Cartoon Network characters. It just wasn't Fusion Fall anymore, to be honest, but I'll get to that. In its original days, it started off with you making your character, and its little fancy version of doing that was that Dexter was talking to you in his super awesome accent, and he was saying, alright, enter the time machine, or in his Russian accent that if I try to mimic it, I'm going to just maul it atrociously, even though I love Russian accent and I do it all the time. I just can't copy Dexter's, so I'm not even going to try. But he's like, in the time machine, enter your information, check out this snapshot of you as it cracks, and then you fix it to make your character look that way. And then he's like, alright, I'm going to send you 5 minutes into the future. And then in the background, you see Dee Dee run by, and she's just like twirling around, and you're like, uh-oh. And Dexter doesn't notice, and so he's like, alright, I'm setting the timer for 5 minutes. And then all of a sudden, you hear Dee Dee go, ooh, what does this button do? And then like, Dexter's like, no, Dee Dee! And he like runs off, and then all of a sudden, everything goes bright white. When you wake up, you're definitely in the future, but you're not 5 minutes into the future. Dee Dee sent you 5 years into the future. And 5 years into the future, Lord Fuse is not only attacked from Planet Fuse, but he's winning. A good section of the planet is gone. Like, the map for the future is teeny tiny. Not to mention the fact that they don't outright say it, but a lot of the Cartoon Network character heroes are dead, including Ben 10, whose Omnitrix was targeted the second Fuse even got here. Like, they tried to take Ben out almost immediately. All that's really left in the way of heroes are, I think, Eddie, not even Double D or Ed. Like, they're gone. It's just, no, Double D is there, because Double D, I think, works on the, I don't remember, it's been so long. But, like, Ben is gone, quite a few people are gone. And in the game, you could choose from one of 4 guides: Ben 10, Dexter, Mojo Jojo, or Double D. And I always chose Dexter, but towards the end I was choosing Ben 10. And in the game, it had this massive memorial statue, and on it was Blue Regard Q Kazoo, who was, it's just a giant memorial to Blue, so poor Blue, he's dead. Oh yeah, they had foster home for imaginary kids. Mac was all grown up, but not all grown up, he's just a teenager, and it was like, Mac, you're all grown up, oh no, pain. But anyways, so they had Mac, they had all that stuff, but Blue was dead, Ben 10 was dead, Mojo Jojo was dead, I think Double D was dead, maybe someone was making the time machine. But what really hurt was the fact that at some point you learn that Lord Fuse, his fusions don't just make copies or fuse with Earth objects. They try to copy things that exist on Earth as well, including the heroes. And that's because Lord Fuse understands that Earth has these heroes that are absolutely powerful, such as the Powerpuff Girls or Dexter. Dexter's powerful not through strength, but through intellect, because it's Dexter who's outputting weapons and technology that will destroy Fuse. So Fuse immediately decides that he's going to make fusion copies of these heroes. I think there's a bit of a lag, but whatever. You guys don't care. And the idea behind it was that this would not only demoralize Earth's forces. Oh man, it's gonna bug me. Do all my videos do this? It's like a half a second pause. Anyways, just get distract me. And so you end up getting attacked by Dexter's fusion, and you sort of beat it, but you can't seem to kill it, and it's just whomping you half to death. And then Dexter runs in, and he's like, "Get out! I'll handle this!" And you like run out, and you get to like number 2 and some of the Kids Next Door operatives. Kids Next Door in it. Yeah, I'm remembering. And you turn. Oh, they're all grown up. That's weird, but they're still Kids Next Door operatives. So you like get on this helipad carrier and you turn around and watch Dexter's Dex Labs, because Dexter has a company now. You watch Dex Labs just like crash and then tip over, and then that whole area just sinks into the ocean. And like it was just one of the most emotional things ever, because Dexter was in there. And then after that, the only thing you ever see of Dexter is a hologram. So it's like Dexter died. And he was like the last of the guides and really big heroes, aside from the Powerpuff Girls. So basically, it was a really long-winded way of explaining how Fusion Fall worked. Eventually, you get back to the past to warn everybody that Lord Fuse is coming, and then they sort of handle it better. The game was amazing, but towards its end, Cartoon Network tried to make it better. And by better, what I really mean is worse. The company that was helping Cartoon Network handle Fusion Fall went under, so it turned to Cartoon Network to take care of Fusion Fall, which of course means that they ruined it. They took out that whole future bit that I just explained it to you and replaced it with an academy. That's it. It was run by Finn and someone else, but I don't remember who, because I like to block that part out and pretend it doesn't exist because it was horrible. There was no point to it. You just ran around and killed monsters. I mean, with the original Fusion Fall opening, it felt like you were achieving something. When you finally got to go back into the past, you felt like you were helping people or saving people, insofar as video games go. In this, it was just like, ah, hey, it's an academy. Go learn how to fight and stuff. Whatever. Not to mention that Cartoon Network's programmers, at least as far as video games are concerned, are god-awful. I don't understand. I ran around and I was trying to do this one mission and I wanted to strangle. I wanted to go to Cartoon Network and say, fire your programmers. They're crap. Why? It was a mission where you had to kill 4 specific monsters, and you had a timer of 90 seconds. Oh no, I'm sorry. You had a timer of 60 seconds, okay? In an area, so in the area where those monsters spawn, only 4 of them spawn at a time. Already this is horrifically programmed. So only 4 of them spawn at any given time. When one is killed, that one will not respawn for 90 seconds. Your timer is 60 seconds. It's impossible for anyone to do that mission. Logic, math, come on. I haven't had a math course in like 6 years, and I know better than that. That doesn't add up. There were like 50 people running around. Obviously, no one could do the quest. No one. It was impossible. And when I tried to use the chat system to talk to people to get everyone to work together so that we could get people to finish the quest, all the most useless words ever were bleeped out. I mean, like, the word for, F-O-U-R, was bleeped out. Why? So was the word the, I'm not even kidding you, the was bleeped out. The, T-H-E, of was bleeped out. Everything that could make up a sentence was bleeped out. Like, how am I supposed to talk to people? How am I supposed to play an MMO? This is officially a single player game where I can stare at people. I understand it's supposed to be like kid friendly and stuff, but that's kind of taking it overboard. If you're gonna nerf the chat that much, just turn it into a single player game. The game got progressively worse. From there, hackers took over the entire game, and instead of trying to fix it, every time Cartoon Network released a patch, it got worse. So eventually, instead of trying to find a way to fix poor Fusion Fall, what they did was they released some stupid game called Fusion Fall Heroes. You can find it now. I mean, I still play it because it's all that's left of Fusion Fall. It has the heroes. It's literally called Fusion Fall Heroes. And you don't get to play your own character. You play one of the heroes. And you run around and you just... Oh, hang on, I'm recording. You literally just run around and kill things. That's it. There's no point to the game. It's not even Fusion Fall. It's not even a hack and slash. You just hit the W button and hold the click and woo, you're killing things. It's awful. I mean, like, I'll still play it because of the fact that it's all that's left of Fusion Fall, but that was their replacement for the Fusion Fall MMO. And you can probably go online and find the trailers for Fusion Fall, because the game was absolutely amazing. It was one of my favorite games of all time, and I'm still, to this day, so sad that they got rid of it, that they took it down. And I actually only just found out, like, probably 2 weeks ago that Fusion Fall got taken down, and that was because a year ago, the last time that I played Fusion Fall, it was so poorly programmed. The patches that they had updated it with were so just crap that I couldn't run it on my computer anymore. And my computer was a pretty decent computer. Josh couldn't run it on his computer, and his computer is better than my computer. well, not mine, my computer's broken, but the way my computer was before it exploded. So they just ruined the game. I couldn't even play it anymore. So I was waiting until I got a new computer, which still hasn't happened, but I was waiting until I got a new computer to play Fusion Fall again. And when I went to go check it out and see if maybe I could run it on my laptop, no Fusion Fall anymore. And that was probably one of the most heartbreaking moments of my life. It felt like someone had died. And there are a couple groups that are trying to recreate Fusion Fall as a completely, like, non-profit project, which is absolutely awesome. I don't want to say because I'm afraid that Cartoon Network will find them and shut them down. I know there was a Minecraft group that was trying to recreate Fusion Fall, at least on Minecraft, and I think Cartoon Network shut them down. Like, they basically were like, if you don't stop doing this, we'll take legal action against you, which is really dumb because it's non-profit. And if you aren't going to upload it, unless you guys are planning to re-release it, which I know they aren't, it's just Cartoon Network doesn't want to give up on any rights or anything that could possibly earn the money, which Fusion Fall Heroes was the stupidest replacement ever. It's not an MMO. That could never replace Fusion Fall. But so yeah, that was Fusion Fall for me, and every mission that I ever did in Fusion Fall felt like it had a purpose. And that was one thing that made that MMO so different, was the fact that every mission felt like it had a purpose. Even if it was something that was like, go destroy 8 of these fusions, or go kill 15 of these fusions, somehow it still felt like there was a reason for it. If just because there's so many fusions, obviously they're going to need you to go trim it down. And they like explained the whole they respawn as the Fusion Fall thing. Every now and then there'd be a Fusion Fall, and the fusions would come back. So there you go, that's explained and handled. But so yeah, that was one of my favorite games. So this was more of a reminiscing review type video, not really a review because you can't go play it. Go check out Fusion Fall Heroes, I guess, on the Cartoon Network website. It's okay if you like playing with other people that you can't talk to. Meh. Whatever. But yeah, you get the point. So I have a couple of other videos planned for this. I also am planning on doing some more, which way do I go? That way. Reading stuff. This is the Grimm's Fairy Tales, if you couldn't tell. And Grimm's Fairy Tales are actually really creepy. Like, Cinderella is really disturbing. The original Cinderella story. Like, I'll read it. But I was planning on doing some Grimm's Fairy Tales. I was planning on doing some creepypastas, but I can't decide on a creepypasta to read, so that'll happen eventually. And yeah, I was gonna do some scary stuff like that, and just some more vlogs. Upload part 2 of Anime Expo one day, eventually. I still haven't found. Oh, I haven't even uploaded a video about that. Okay, well that's gonna get recorded next because this is like the greatest story I have ever. But anyways, thanks for listening, guys. I hope you enjoyed this Reminisce review thing. Whatever. I'll talk to you later. Bye!